for that. Thank you for that. We did have a question in the live chat. Let me scroll up to find it. There's a guy who's called the Messiah. He's out of his mind. He says he's actual Messiah, but he did answer. He did say something that was interesting. He says when the Messiah comes, because he said he arrived because he's the Messiah, he stopped conversion. So there's actually a belief in Judaism that when the Messiah comes, conversions do stop. What's your take on that, Rav?
It's a medrash. It's a
medrash. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to believe it. It's actually built on false information, at least according to the Rambam, because the understanding is that in the time of King Solomon, they outlawed conversions because people were converting because of affluence, because the Jewish people were so affluent and rich and powerful that people were not converting because they wanted to come closer to God. Now, that's also a tale. That's also a medrash. And again, Tanakh doesn't mention conversion. However, the Rambam says that no, that's not really what happened, because if you assume that, then you would also have to assume that King Solomon only married Gentiles, and there's no way. King Solomon's wives were all Jewish because they were converted to Judaism. So he explains in Asur chapter 13.
That's a great point.
This means the Sanhedrin decided not to perform conversions. Now, like, he's going out of his way to justify a medrash, but whatever. Let's follow his logic. He says it there that means that the Sanhedrin decided not to perform conversions, but laymen in the street, laymen there in Hebrew is hediotot. Some people say that's where the word idiot comes from. People who are not rabbis in the street were performing conversions. And that's one source where it tells you that you don't have to be a rabbi to perform a conversion. Because if that was the case, no one could perform a conversion nowadays, because there are no rabbis nowadays. Because there's no men with smicha nowadays. There's no men who sat on the Sanhedrin. I mean, assuming that only the Sanhedrin could perform conversions. So he says, Gemo hediotot, 3 laymen on the street could perform conversions and were performing conversions. And they were accepted. That's it. It's a medrash, but people who quote that medrash ignore what the Rambam has to say about it. Teaching that conversions are never going to end. They're never going to end. I mean, it's
Amen.
Yeah,
there's even a midrash. Is one of my favorite midrash. It says that a plague broke out in Israel and Jews were dying by the hundreds a day. And it said that King David himself went out to investigate the plagues, and it said that he discovered that the Jewish people were abusing Gerim and were not providing conversions. That he himself personally converted 150,000 people to Judaism. That's a midrash. It's funny, for every midrash that says one thing, there, like you like to bring up, there's a midrash that says the opposite.
It says it's also in Talmud Yerushalmi. It says to heal me on the basis of my father, on the basis of all the converts my father made. But it's in Talmud Yerushalmi. Still a midrash. In the Talmud, they're not called midrashim; they're called agadot, but it's the same thing. Midrash is a later word, just because of midrash rabbah. There's a Rabbi Rabbah who now, like, all this folklore and legend are not really written by these people. It's really what's called pseudepigrapha. And it's funny, the Christians have no problem putting apocrypha and pseudepigrapha in its right place, separating it from the meat, but the Jews have a huge problem doing that. Because that's what it is. It's just tales and legends, books of tales and legends that weren't really written by these people. I mean, these people are turning in their graves or tombs or whatever, knowing that some medrash in the Middle Ages were written and attributed to them, because it'll say names, like Rabbi Zera, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, but these guys didn't write that stuff.
So we do have someone from Nathaniel. He says, I think Nathaniel said that he's coming down in August to convert. Mazel tov, Simon tov. We should throw you a bar mitzvah on the show.
That's also pagan, by the way. Mazel tov, Simon tov. So mazal tov, when you say mazal tov, what you're telling someone is good constellation. But you should be under a good star. This is traditional Avodah Zorah. Okay. Not that I'll say it also when I talk to people where they're at on their level, so they can understand me. Also,
but anyway, it's a simcha. It's a simcha for anyone.
Yeah. I'm not trying to correct you. Yeah. I'm trying to educate the people at the same time here. So a siman is a sign. It's like a good sign and a good constellation. And people say it over and over again. I don't know, like, if Sephardim traditionally said it. It may be an Ashkenazi thing. So anyone Sephardi shoes, they'll say like Hazak Baruch.
Right.
Just
That's
an
a
FYI.
fact. Right. They set up to different. Yeah.
I want you guys to go home from this class saying like, damn, I picked up so much little nuggets of information that I never heard anywhere. I try to make this class how I enjoy listening to classes. I just want to hear fact after fact. And I'm not taking you guys in a joyride. Like I said, I'm not the best storyteller. I unfortunately can't make people feel as nice as other rabbis online.
We do want to have a job there, Rav, and I really appreciate it.
I want to give you the meat, uncut. Yeah.
I learned a lot, and we got audience here from Bangkok. Derek says Shabbat Shalom from Bangkok. I mean, we're reaching the four corners of the universe here. So thank you so much. Nathan does
like TBN, but like the beginning of TBN of Praise the Lord. Remember back in the day? Come on, guys! Right. Like, don't act like you didn't watch it. You guys are listening to the broadcast ever from all over the world, from China. Praise the Lord! From Spain, it's Ole! Praise the Lord! Whatever. So this is like
Neo Dios. Okay,
like Baruch Hashem hour.